Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a message that one of our admin received, and the message reads like this. Hello, how are you? African Confessions. Can you please post my own story as anonymous? So I am a Nigerian woman, so I do sell my body, and you can just call me Anita, not my real name. So I do come from a village, and in that village, when I was growing up, I don't want to lie to you, things were very difficult. I really never wanted to be in Ashawo here in Lagos, but it was because of some of the situations that I was facing. I suffered a lot because I grew up in an environment where my mom was not around. She only came whenever she felt like, because my dad had two wives, so my mom never wanted to be in that environment. So this made me to suffer since I was the eldest. Anything that was supposed to be done, it was I who was told to do whatever. And as for my mom, she did never respect my dad at all. That was the reason as to why my dad ended up having a second one. And as for the second wife, she came in with that pride, knowing that she could do whatever that she wanted because my mom was never around. And as for my dad, he was someone who would go and drink whenever he felt like drinking and never even cared about us. So this second stepmom of mine, she had her own brother who would come and stay with us most of the times. So he was in the army. This man, he threatened me one day, and he said that he was going to beat me up because I did not prepare food for him in time. That was the beginning of my suffering and my abuse. Later in the evening, he had gone out to drink. When he came back, he threatened to shoot me. So he was conditioning me in such a way that the day when it was going to come that he was going to abuse me, I would be scared to even speak out. I only realized this when I was older, that also this guy, he was playing this psychology game on me, threatening to kill me if I was ever going to tell anyone that he had threatened to kill me. So I was quiet. I became a girl that was really quiet at all the time, scared to be around people, always at home, sitting alone. Then he went out one day. He came back and he asked me if I had prepared some food for him. I told him that since he had not told us if he was going to come back, since he was staying with his wife in another village that was close by, so I had no way of ever knowing if he was going to come back. So I apologized and he said, "Uncle, no, do not worry. Let me get up right now and let me prepare a meal for you." Whilst I was waking up from the bed, that was when he walked to the door, and at that time I only had a paraffin lamp which he switched off, and then he locked the door and he said, "Tonight is the night when I am going to kill you. Do you know that I am a killer? I was trained to kill. Tonight is the night that I am going to kill you." So I pleaded with him, I begged him, and I said, "Please show me mercy." And he said, "If you want me to show you mercy, then you need to give me something that is going to make me smile at first, so that I won't tell my sister. You know my sister, she is going to beat you up, very cruel. You know her." And indeed, that was the truth. She was nothing but a very cruel woman. So I did not want her to lay her hands again on me, especially at night. I was so sleepy, thinking about what tomorrow was going to bring for me. So I kept on begging this guy, asking him what exactly did he want from me, until he pushed me onto the bed. He climbed on top of the bed, and I could smell the alcohol that was all over him, as if he had vomited on himself. But he kept on forcing and forcing until finally he slept with me in a very painful way. He was torturing me, and he kept on telling me that this was a form of a punishment. If I had cooked for him in time, this should have never happened. So I should blame myself. So with that upbringing, I started dating other guys. I started dating this other guy, and this guy, he was always into technology, fixing computers, laptops, your cell phones. He then moved to Lagos. When I moved to Lagos, that was when I met this guy. he had become a Yahoo boy, like those internet fraudsters, and he was living large. He told me that unfortunately he had upgraded himself and now I was a small girl, but he was going to try to connect me to other girls in the city. I did not know what he meant when he said that he was going to connect me to other girls in the city. And I said, okay, if you can connect me, it is fine. Then we went and we met this other woman, and I found out that the house where I was, it was nothing but a brothel, a very beautiful place. It just looks like a normal B&B where men just come and sleep. But then when you have booked, then they will reveal themselves to you that this place we are just selling our bodies. So I got used to everything, and then I started making money, but it was small girl money. And one day he said, do you want me to show you real money? I said yes. A week later, he then took me, and then we went to Benin. And at that time, that was when I met this other guy who was the friend of this boy that I used to date. It is very complicated. Let me just skip that part. We then went to this other house. It was not an ordinary house. It was a shrine. We entered into that shrine, and in the middle of that room there was this other woman whom I was told a voodoo priestess. She was sitting and she was naked from the waist going up, and her body was covered in white chalk. And then I saw that she only had one single breast in the middle of her chest. And this guy told me to trust in him, for he had done the same thing. And then this woman was presented to me, and I was told that my womb was my sacrifice, for my body was going to be the temple of wealth, and I will take from men what they will take from you, and you will bring it to me. I was then given a very small wooden bowl that I was told to use when the time would have arrived. I was told to suckle from the breast of the priestess, a ritual that would bring me close to her spiritually, and the man that I was with kept on telling me to do it. This breast was so smelly. I do not want to lie to you. I looked at him and he said, you need to do this. This is what is going to make you to be rich. I closed my eyes and I totally obeyed. After the initiation, I was then told by another priest what the kind of a job that I was going to do. He told me that my job was simple: collect men's semen. Even though I do sell my body as a prostitute, if a man wants to sleep with me not using protection, I do it. And after sleeping with him, when he is gone, I take that wooden bowl and I place it between my legs and I force all the fluids to come out. When I do that, there is a lizard that do come, and then it will swallow all the semen that and the fluids that I would have deposited into that wooden bowl, whether in a condom or whatever. Even in my mouth, I have to do it. I spit into that wooden bowl. There are men out there that are afraid to have like your normal sex, so they want to do it in your mouth. You give them a blowjob until the man comes. So when he come into your mouth, I then take that bowl and then I spit into it. The men that I am with, they don't even suspect even a thing. But if a man is using protection on me, it becomes so easy because all of the semen will be deposited into the condom, and then I just put it there. I know that I am being used, but at the same time, at least it is better because I am no longer suffering like the way that I used to suffer. When you post my story, please tell me. I'll be so glad to even hear my story being played and listened to by other Africans on your channel. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister right there. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Can you just imagine? Yo.